Stay tuned for my interview with Emily from the G.I. Joe brand team, and let's recap the reveals. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at it's Dan Who, and today let's talk about some G.I. Joes, shall we? So it is no secret, I love my Marvel Legends, obviously, but I also love G.I. Joes, and I've been collecting classified since they launched the line a good few years ago, and they are better now than they have ever been, with a very successful Hiss Tank HasLab not too long ago, which makes me excited for what the future holds with this line. Maybe some more vehicles to spruce up the display. We shall see. But while I was in MCM Comic-Con in London this weekend, me and Hank had the pleasure and opportunity to meet Emily and have a chat about the G.I. Joe brand. So I'm going to play that interview in a few moments, but before I do that, I thought it'd be fun to recap not only the reveals and some of the figures I brought, as I spent more money on G.I. Joes than anything else. So first things first, I have finally got my hands on the Crimson Twins. Now, if you've been following the channel, you know I pre-ordered these in February, and it seems like everyone else has them apart from me, but now they are in my grasp, as they were on the table at Inderman Toys. They were the last set, so I couldn't leave them there. So here they are in my hands, finally happy to add the Crimson Twins. I was also pleasantly surprised to see Dr. Mindbender. He's not due until January in the UK, but I will take him now, as this guy sort of reminds me of Dr. X from like the Action Man era. So he looks really good in this fancy packaging. So yeah, they were the two G.I. Joe pickups. So let's sort of recap the reveals, the little nuggets. So there weren't that many, but there were a few little nuggets that we can talk about. So you know G.I. Joe like to give us a few name drops to tell us about figures that are coming in the future. So the name only reveals were firstly Shadow Tracker. Now he's more of a modernized character in the Joe lore, as he's from about 2011, but he is an interesting character design, as he's sort of jungle themed. He has sort of like dreadlocks, so I'm curious to see how they put him into the classified line. He should look good in the 6-inch line, so we shall see. Time will tell. The other name only was a little bit more intriguing, as it's just called Mole Rats. Now Emily said it's a troop builder, it's an army builder pack, so I'm hoping lots of interchangeable heads, lots of interchangeable weapons and accessories. Time will tell, but I really hope it's a Joe's army builder, as we really need some more good guys to spruce up the display. I've got so many infantry Cobra troopers and bats and alley vipers and all of that, but we need some more good guys on the shelf for backup. So let's see what the future holds with Mole Rats. If you know any more, let me know in the comments. So they were the name only reveals. They actually showed off what we're going to get in the 2-pack for the female army builders. So lots of accessories in that, interchangeable parts. We also got an officer in that with the tan gear compared to the black gear, and then we also get a couple of skin tones, lots of weapons, some muzzle flashes. I'll talk about that with Emily in the interview as well. And they ain't the big reveal for the UK. Bravo, it was Big Ben. It just makes sense, and it is a nice sort of homage to his original release, as it has the same sort of deco on the face. He's also got the bullets going across the chest, but if you want to do a bigger deep dive on that, go and check out Tony at Analog Toys, as he sort of proper dissects that figure. But just from face value, from what we've seen in the digital render, I think it looks pretty good. It comes with a nice interchangeable head sculpt as well, so a possibility to add an extra to the collection to spruce that up. So time will tell, but a great makes sense for the UK, right? So there you go. They were the few little reveals from the panel, and I had to get to go and talk to Emily. Now again, I keep saying this, but I'm not a journalist, people, all right? This is my fun hobby, all right? So I just wanted a fun chat with Emily, as I've never spoke to her, but never met her before, so I weren't going to go jump in with all the hard-hitting questions about manufacturing and distribution that we know she can't answer honestly. So instead, I just thought I'd introduce myself and have a fun conversation about the brand that I'm really enjoying at the minute. So hopefully you enjoy a few little nuggets about the future. So right now, I'll throw it back to myself at MCM Comic-Con interview with Emily. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at it's Dan Who, and today is a very special day, because for the first time, live in London, I get to meet to Emily from the G.I. Joe brand.
Hello.
Hey, can we have a hug?
Oh, yeah. There we go. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me. Let's talk toys.
Yes, let's talk G.I. Joe. As I said, I was just before we went live, I was sort of explaining to Emily the whole Joes and Juice concept, and I even got Hellfire Hank to meet little mini Emily. So I'll put up some pictures in the B-roll. There she is. She's meditating, but she's ready. She's got her knife.
Yeah.
How far hand was joining in? Joining in. But today we're going to talk some G.I. Joes. So again, the panel was great. By the way, I love the little nuggets you give us. And Big Ben, I was cheering for Big Ben. Perfect reveal. He looks great as well, by the way.
Yeah, and I think that everybody's going to be really excited. So as I mentioned, Big Ben is part of a new Special Missions team. It is part of the story of Classified that we're telling. So I think that when we can reveal more details about that, people are going to get excited about it.
Well, we can start on that because one of my questions was, we've got a couple of sublines with the Pirate Patrol, Tiger Force. They're usually like store exclusives. Regarding the fact that they're exclusive or not, are we obviously going to see more little sub teams throughout the Joe line?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's a really unique opportunity for us to. We're like all about the storytelling, right? And so there's the regular plot lines of G.I. Joe, and then there are the special missions. And the special missions allow us to get a little weirder, I think. And so that's definitely what you're going to see in the team that Big Ben is on. It's gonna get a little weird.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm game for weird. I like the Joes. You can go air, land, sea, and I think with a couple of the new reveals you've got, we're sort of seeing them sort of push those boundaries a little bit.
Yes.
At the minute, everything's before uniforms and ninjas, but now we're like sort of going into the vast reaches to see what's going on. So I like it.
And I think that also comes with having a line that's a little bit more established now. When you're first starting off on your line, you want to make sure that we didn't come out with a Cobra Commander almost immediately. Everybody would have rioted. And so getting those like A+ list characters up front, and now that we have done that, kind of getting to pull back and say, okay, what stories are we looking to tell? How weird can we get at this point? Like, what does it make sense to do for us? And I think that the longer we go, the deeper we can go into the line, which is great. So ice cream soldiers for everybody is what I'm hearing.
Joes did get a little bit wacky.
Yeah. Oh, they got Battle Corps, Ninja Force, rooted hair.
To be fair, we've had a little taste with like the wacky colour schemes with like the Addy Vipers, for example.
Yep.
But even the bats. Like, one of my questions that we can go through to that now is that with bats, the Joes, Lenny sort of said it's a unique concept to classify because in the main line, originally you never had crimson bats. So like you guys are not scared. You sort of create your own legacy within Joes, and it's not like you have to do everything that was in the past. You can innovate and do some new stuff. Are we going to see more of that? Some things that weren't necessarily figures from back in the day, but a sort of classified twist or update?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Classified is so much fun because it's not necessarily entertainment accurate. And so what that lets us do is basically say, okay, what are the coolest things that we can combine that are related to this figure that will make the most awesome classified series version of it as we can. And so I think that it's a freedom that not a lot of brands are allowed in their toy lines. And so for us, we want to make these like interesting hodgepodge figures that are a combination of all of the coolest pieces of this, or to say like, okay, where do we need this support in our line, and what kind of, what color would that maybe be, or like what function would this be? So yes, that was a very long way to say.
Well, as I said, Crimson Bats are a perfect example because Crimson, like the guards and all that, people love that. Add some bats to the line, and it's something we've never seen before. So I like that. I also wanted to say congratulations on the recent HasLab success.
Thank you.
I've got a couple on lock ready to go.
I ordered 5.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like the corner piece to our collection moving forward. You always knew there was a Joe fan base there, but were you guys surprised to see how quickly everything started to just start flying through?
Yes. I think that it would be crazy if we said we weren't surprised, because it was, so we knew from the Sky Striker campaign that there was the support, and we knew that there was, as I'm like gesturing with little Emily in my hand, so that we knew that there was support, and that we knew that there were people who were saying, I don't really need another Sky Striker, but I want this campaign to succeed so that they'll know that there is interest in this in the future. Exactly. And so the hope was fund the Sky Striker, get a classified HasLab. And I feel like we delivered on that promise. We know that people are really excited to start getting bigger vehicles in classified series. And so, we've gotten kind of teases of that with the Coil and the Ram as smaller vehicles. We announced that a Trouble Bubble's coming. But that figuring out kind of what the rollout was for that was really important. important.
I just feel bad for the Joes because the Cobra have got a big hiss tank now, and the Joes are like, we got 2 bikes.
Yep.
Drive away. Do you know,
exactly. Or just like run really fast.
Yeah.
Like do a barrel roll situation.
So you said the Chorba was coming, which is great.
Yep.
But again, that's another Cobra vehicle.
It is.
So the Joes need some more vehicles. So I'm just going to throw a few at you, like canoes, dinghies, quad bikes, gliders, jetpacks, all stuff which is smaller scale, not needed for a
I like a
HasLab.
canoe idea.
Yeah, of course.
That's great.
It's a good on a canoe. So like these smaller vehicles that you don't necessarily need a HasLab, are we going to see any of that moving into 2023? I'm assuming that the success of the HasLab has sort of showed whoever needs to be shown that the Joe community wants some vehicles.
Yes, and I think so, without getting into specifics, we will be expanding. So there will be more kind of...
Than just bikes.
How do I say this without giving too much away?
Give it away, it's fine. We don't
I mean, my team cares if I give things away. But so as we're also establishing ourselves as a line, we now have a little bit more freedom in... We've proved our success at the $24.99 mainline level, so we think that there will be a little bit more success to start going a little bit
price point.
bigger, a bigger price point that's like somewhere between a coil and a HasLab. So if we extrapolate from there,
sounds good. Because as I say, I think vehicles and play sets are like embedded into Joe's, and I think we're doing great with the figures, are the best they've ever been, but I do think the line needs those vehicles to sort of spruce up, especially with the masterpiece of the Hiss Tank coming.
And I'm so sorry.
I'm just assuming that the Hiss Tank will give you confidence to do another HasLab in the future as well, maybe.
Maybe. Oh, I think that what was I going to say? Vehicles, price points.
I will ask the question.
Magically on, I'll think about it later.
Yeah, vehicles are coming, that's what we need to know. Bigger vehicles.
And I think
With Joe's needs.
there's a lot of excitement about, what else, because there's only, okay, so G.I. Joe's in a very unique position because so much of our original line was vehicles, and in a way where the vehicles are almost their own characters in the G.I. Joe universe, which I think is a very kind of unique offering, and so we're really excited. We, started proving ourselves with just the figures, but now to really kind of get back into some of those vehicles are great. The thing is that there is kind of a limited size of what those vehicles can be in order to successfully convert them into 6-inch. So original Hiss tanks are like this big. So anything that's bigger than this is going to end up, we've sized a couple things, guys. Yeah. Which would be great. So, but I think that it's a very interesting exercise for the team to see what makes sense from a story-wise perspective, what makes sense from a, we can actually successfully execute this perspective. So it's all really fun.
Yeah,
it's just a big logic puzzle.
I do think the community feel that the Hiss Tank getting funded is only a good thing for the line in general.
Yeah.
It gives Hasbro the confidence that there's a demand for the line. So again, expanding in 2023. Because saying expanding, you've already confirmed that you're expanding to 5 figures a wave now moving forward as well. So again, I know this is an awkward question to answer because distribution's a mess, but this year we've had waves scattered. As the distribution line starts to sort of get better after pre-pandemic and stuff like that, can we expect a more of a fluent flow of Joes coming in?
Yeah, so a lot of that was it was all the supply chain issues, right? And so different places in the world get product at different points of time depending on how big their orders are, what their shipping time is. So it's been less consistent than we were hoping for because of the supply chain issue. All of the G.I. Joe products for 2022 pushed back somewhere between 6 and 9 months, which is, it's a wild thing. Nobody's ever heard of anything like this before. And so what ended up happening was when different warehouses would get pieces in, they'd say, we're not sitting on this.
Yeah. Why people get stuff early.
Exactly.
I got Outback, I think, really early.
Yep, exactly. And so you have kind of that regional inequality right now. In theory, once we hit July of next year, everything should be reset, and we should be actually on cadence.
I do think it's a collective problem as well, where we're just excited for the next thing rather than living in the moment.
Yeah.
So I just think a consistent flow means that there's always something to look forward to.
And I think that it was also hard because there was no new product at all in the spring, and then stuff is just coming out in waves.
I've literally just brought my Crimson Twins somewhere in here. I've left them behind, and I'm collecting these before the end of the day. So I've got my twins locked in. But
perfect.
Yeah, a few delays here and there, but I understand that's an awkward one. But people just love the line, and
people just get frustrated when they can't have the thing they love.
Yeah.
So it's like that consistent flow just keeps the positive vibes of the line going.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
We have good intentions, but
Yes,
you know,
I'm sure.
we're still in a pandemic, you guys. Like, it's still happening.
One of the questions I had today was regarding the Army Builder 2-pack that you hadn't announced yet, but you announced it today. My question was, are the females going to be blue to match the troopers? And you answered today, yes, they are going to be blue, and lots of accessories in there as well.
Yep. So that's what we're doing kind of with we're taking cues from the Blue Ninja pack that we did, the Viper 3-pack, in that when we do Troop Builder multi-packs, we want them to come with enough accessories and enough kind of, what do you call it, freeble, that you can, if you buy multiple sets, you're not going to have them all set up the same. So the goal is, you know, interchangeable heads, interchangeable accessories, but really allowing you to customize. And so much of Classified is secondary parts and pieces, it's the weapons, it's the blast effects, it's how do we build out this story, and we think that by doing that, it's a little something extra for you to enjoy.
Yeah, obviously, as I said, I was curious if they were blue, because I've got, as I said, my Cobra army is massive.
Yep.
I've got so many infantry troopers and Cobra officers, and I was like, okay, are these females going to be blue so I can start mixing it up a little bit? So I'm happy to see that they're going to match.
Yeah.
Does the blue match the infantry blue?
It should match the infantry blue. That should be the intention.
Yeah, okay, good.
And it won't be it'll be the classified blue, it won't be the like retro royal blue right now.
Is the body on the female trooper the same that's going to be used on the Gunner, the Histag?
It's partial the same. So they share parts and pieces.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you were just mentioning there in that 2-pack lots of accessories,
Yeah.
which brings me on to another thing where a lot of people, I'm sure you know where I'm going, a lot of people ask for. Now, especially with plastic-free packaging now, this sort of works to your advantage because you're giving us like these little crates in the boxes, which I think is a great idea. But is there an opportunity in the future, maybe via Pulse, because in the UK, like G.I. Joe's Pulse exclusive, can we get accessory packs where we can just buy some muzzle flashes and some guns and in a cheaper price point in these little crates that we've got going now?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of interest and excitement around that, which the team definitely feels. We're still trying to figure out what is the perfect execution of that, but I think that there is, you know, there's precedent that was set in the O-ring line in the 80s of all of the accessory packs and how excited people got about them. And so figuring out, you know, how would we want to have those themes, what would we want those to look like, how much stuff would we want them to come with. So it's something that we're noodling on, but we're not at a definitive point yet.
Yeah, I think weapons is an easy one. Throwing those weapons, muzzle flashes. But like you said, talking about expanding the different themes, you can do a jungle one, a sea one, and that's where the canoe.
There we go, always. Yeah, I like this. Bringing it always back to the canoe.
So I think, getting through all of these points, I'm happy. The last one I did want to, again, I'm a UK guy, so I have to bring up the fact that G.I. Joe is now a UK Pulse exclusive. Now that's fine, I'm happy to support Pulse, but I just wonder, like, it's because that's only in the UK, does that mean that the line from a Hasbro perspective, they don't feel like it's doing well in the UK? Like, why has it just gone Pulse exclusive in the UK? Is there any actual answer?
So I have a statement I can read from Consumer Care
Please
if you'd
do.
like me. So starting in 2023, G.I. Joe Classified series will be available exclusively through Hasbro Pulse in the UK, France, Spain, Italy, Australia, Germany, and Austria. Previously, not all figures were available in certain areas of the EU region, making it harder for you to track down the Joe and Cobra action figures you needed for your collection. Now with Hasbro Pulse as your one-stop shop, we can make the entire line available to fans in these areas. Plus, we'll be able to better satisfy fan demand to get the figures you want directly into your hands. There is no planned distribution changes for G.I. Joe in the U.S. Rest assured, EU Joe fans, we appreciate you, and we are committed to bringing you more new and exciting G.I. Joe Classified series releases like the one you've come to expect for years, or the ones you've come to expect for years to come. So now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
Okay, cool. My only concern with that is that Classified are popular and they sell out very quick. It happened recently with Serpentor and Mindbender. So with it going to Pulse exclusive, do you reckon there's going to be more quantity? Because they know everyone's going to be driving now to that one place.
So we are going to be making sure, and we are, as always, kind of double checking the quantities that we are making for these figures, which every time I look at them, I'm just like, holy smokes, guys, we make a lot of these figures. But I think kind of reevaluating and making sure that figures are available and that we are doing higher quantity runs on them is something that is really important on G.I. Joe, because we are not in with the supply chain issues, we've been playing catch-up. We can't do reruns on G.I. Joe right now, with literally the exception of Serpentor and Mindbender got added as reruns because they sold out so fast. We wanted to make sure that fans were able to get them. Yeah. And so I think that we keep trying to balance it in different ways. So I think there will be a conversation, but the expectation should be that there will be additional quantities so that it will be easier for fans.
I think in the long run, as long as people can get their hands on the product they want,
Yep.
they're going to
Yeah.
but I love the line, honestly. G.I. Joe is on fire. As I said, like the last couple of years, it just gets better and better and better. And I think the His Tank being such a success is only testament to that. And hopefully that has encouraged powers that be to give us more vehicles, more G.I. Joes, and I think 5 Figures Away will sort of prove that as well.
And I think that it's such an honor for us for the His Tank campaign. There have been so many amazing Hasbro campaigns that have been run, and to be considered to be, to have any metrics that we have done this well on is amazing. It's beautiful. So on behalf of the whole team, thank you so much for your support. We are so incredibly grateful that you continue to support us and that we get to keep working on this line, which means we get to have jobs and are making toys.
One last point on the HasLab, just to confirm, Cobra Commander is on the retro card, plastic window, even though we won't get it till like 2024.
Yes.
2025.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So he is on card. All of the rest of the figures are in packaging. And here's a fun tidbit for you that I may have forgotten to say during the campaign, which I realized when I was in the car the other day. One of the figures in the His Tank is figure number 100 in the line.
Oh wow! Yeah. Again, testament to how well the line's
the 3 figures are 99, 100, and 101 in a box. So Cobra Commander is not boxed.
If you didn't get the His Tank, then your shelf's going to be all out of sync.
Yeah, really will.
Yeah, Emily, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
As I said, come back to the channel anytime.
This has been great. I love this.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
So there you have it, my conversation live and in person with Emily about G.I. Joe, and Emily was so nice, so thank you once again. And it's always fun to get to do this in person. You know, those boring question answer format is not my style. I like to have a free-flowing conversation about the brands and the products that we love, have some fun, and hopefully get a few little tidbits about the future of the line. You know me, at the end of the day, this is my hobby. This is something I do for fun. I'm not the guy you go to for those hard-hitting corporate questions that we know these people can't answer. It's a waste of everybody's time. So instead, let's just talk about the product that is really good at the minute. Yes, prices are getting high, which is horrible, not good enough. I don't like it either, but the product is really good, and I think that the His Tank being such a success is only going to improve the G.I. Joe line moving forward, and hopefully we get more of a variety of different scale vehicles for the line. Maybe that canoe I kept name dropping. Obviously, I was being sarcastic. My British humour, I need to learn. I'm not very funny. I want a Jeep for my Joes, and I want some army builders, and yeah, I'm sure the line's going to be good. And if you want to talk G.I. Joes, then you can stay on the channel as I do sporadic live streams called Joes and Juice with my co-hosts Mini Plastic Multiverse and Mark Tac Tac. Whenever there is some classified news to break down and talk about it, go and check out the playlists on the channel right now for previous episodes. But you know me, love Marvel Legends, I like G.I. Joes, I talk some turtles. Stick around on the channel, please, please, please hit that subscribe button, much appreciated. Hit the notification bell, hit all, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and I'm on Twitter as well at Dan Who Reviews. Tweet me, don't be shy. Until then, my name is Dan W, and I will of course see you on the next one.